SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Are you a business owner looking for help with HR benefits and payroll? MWG Employer Services offers a wide range of services and can create a custom plan that fits your needs and budget.
I was so overwhelmed with HR stuff. MWG Employer Services took all the stress out of it and even set up my payroll. I couldn't be happier. MWG
Employer Services is here to help you succeed. Call us today at 601-206-7966 or go to MWGEmployerServices.com.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey, and there's Brian Hadad over there on this Tuesday. Glad that you guys are with us. Midweek baseball coming up tonight. Ole Miss is in Hattiesburg. Can Southern Miss make it 3 midweek wins over SEC teams in a row? We will find out tonight. Mississippi State's in Biloxi facing off against Tulane. We'll talk about that as well. Team USA won last night over Mexico, and we'll have fun with the what could have been or what might have been with athletes that almost went to Ole Miss or Mississippi State, inspired by a mammoth home run that was hit last night by somebody that almost went to Ole Miss to play baseball, instead became a big leaguer, and he's 21 years old hitting bombs in the World Baseball Classic. We'll do all that and more with you on this Tuesday. Glad you guys are here.
Yeah, let's do all of those things and more here with you in the Pearl River Resort studios. PearlRiverResort.com, live entertainment. Great dining, championship golf, incredible gaming, and just a great place to relax and have a good time. Whatever you like to do this weekend, make it happen for yourself at Pearl River Resort. PearlRiverResort.com is where you make your reservations. C Spire text line open to you, as always, 601-879-4395. In sports and business, having the right team behind you matters. Partner with C Spire today for business solutions from dedicated, certified IT engineers. Learn more at cspire.com. C Spire, inspired by you.
Inspired by you.
Yeah, that's who's doing the inspiration.
I am on my 5th cup of coffee today, and here's why. All right, this is a relatable story for everybody.
Not for me. I don't drink coffee.
No, but why? The motivation, the reason why.
And Jeff Levy is impressed with your coffee consumption.
So, the remaining dog in the Borkey house, rest in peace, Maverick, is a almost 8-year-old 3-legged British Lab. And if you guys have had labs before, you know that they're up for anything, really. But they also sleep a lot. They can be lazy. And especially a 3-legged one, you know, the day-to-day takes a lot out of her. She sleeps really good. She's a good sleeping dog. And she sleeps through the night. I mean, she'll go to her bed at 8 o'clock, and she won't get up until 8 o'clock the next morning if I don't ask her to. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear her panting and pacing around, and she, like, at one point kind of ran into the bed, and it's like, oh no. She's got to go outside. Like, she, you know, whatever. So I go let her out, and the second I open the door, I hear it. Beep! One of the fire alarm, or smoke detectors was low on battery, right? And if you've ever experienced that before, there's like a minute in between the beeps, and it is almost impossible to pinpoint. So I heard the beep, and I thought, 4-letter word. And that's what was freaking her out, by the way. She was stressed because of the noise.
Say fudge.
No, it started with an S. I didn't do that one.
Okay.
But, so I have to stand. I'm standing there, hear the beep, and I couldn't pinpoint it, so I walk, around the house. Think I hear it. Oh, I think it's this one. I take it down. Nope, it's not that one. I think I hear it. I take it down. Oh, gosh darn it. It's not that one either. And I don't have a particularly big house, and I learned that there are 8 smoke detectors in my house. And it's not a big house, and I've got 8 of them. I took down all 8 of them. All 8 I took down, and I had them in the kitchen, and it still wasn't coming from there. Had to sneak in to my son's room at one point to take that smoke detector down and woke him up. 3 o'clock in the morning. Goes back to sleep, all good. I did not realize that the carbon monoxide detectors I put in the house also do that beeping thing. I completely forgot about them. I'm losing my mind. I think it's in the attic. I have no idea what's going on. It was the freaking carbon monoxide detector. It took me 45 minutes to figure out that that's what it was. Yeah. And I couldn't, it was almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I could not go back to sleep. I am running on fumes. There has got to be a better way, though, for us to alert that our smoke detectors or carbon monoxide detectors are running low on battery. There has got to be a better way.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, I don't have a solution.
Like a more distinct beep that is not 1 minute apart. That, I don't know, make it easier to detect. Maybe just the light on it just flashing a little bit. Something.
From the C Spire text line. That's wild you're saying this right now. I have an 8-month-old baby boy. His started chirping 15 minutes after we put him down. No way this happened to us on the same night. That's incredible.
And so by put him down, do you mean like fell asleep, or was he still awake? Because if you put him down in 15 minutes, like he's asleep at 8 months old,
that wakes him up.
And 15 minutes later, that wakes him up. You should go Office Space on that thing. Take that thing out into a field somewhere with a baseball bat and just therapeutically destroy it.
Marty from Portland, who, again, is the smartest guy I ever met.
Asleep. Oh, no. That's the worst.
Says, just replace all your batteries annually. No midnight battery. That's a good point. If you just have one day a year where you're like, this is the day I replace the batteries, you don't have these issues.
Have you seen the price of batteries lately?
All right, well, you got to go get the battery dad.
Especially those big ones.
Go get the battery dad. Go get one of those big things of batteries.
Have you seen the price of the batteries?
I'm just saying, you buy it once, it's a one-time investment.
Inflation has hit the
Getting one that is hardwired into the system. Now we're spending real money. How much does that cost to get a hardwired smoke detector?
Bunch of money bags out here. What?
I didn't realize Richard had all these burners.
You guys.
Oh, it said it never woke him up. That's good. That's good to know.
That is good to know. But man, I've
supposed to change the battery every year at daylight savings time to handle. That's how you handle the beeping problem. It was 2 days ago. It's still around daylight savings time.
But here's the thing. So, like, change them every year. But why, if you don't have to?
You can get a complete alarm system put in for around $1,500. Well, Johnny, send me a check.
I mean, hey, I would love to put a new system in.
That sounds great.
You can look up the address for SuperTalk. Just put, address it to either Hadad or myself in the great people here at the Farm Bureau building is where we are. And John Sokoloff will join us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team.
3 people on the text line are already asking about Saints questions. We've got the guy to answer them at 4:20 today.
And we'll talk about that, too, after we talk to John, because the Saints are now out of cap hell. Yep. Not only are they making good moves, but the Nick Underhill, who's been the forefront in describing the cap stuff with the Saints, was able to figure out through a source that the Bills guard that they just got in free agency doesn't have any void years in his contract. It's a very straightforward contract. 4 years, this amount of money. There's no void years. There's no moving money around. It's just, hey, they can now actually offer just a normal contract. It's an amazing. It's
good times. It's good times. The Shuck era off to a great start.
It really is.
Yeah. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
I'm not going to be fine. I am very.
So there you go. Everybody's telling you need to change your batteries when the time changes. So that's what you need to do. You just need to change your battery.
But I've had the house for 6 years, and this is the second time I've had to change one of the batteries.
Well,
why would I do that? That sounds like a waste of money to me.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man.
And again, have you seen the price of batteries lately?
Well, it's the price of everything, Borky. Ain't nothing cheap right now except a hard time.
Except for TVs. TVs are plummeting.
I'll give you a hard time for free right now.
At least TVs are plummeting.
I already have a TV.
And a Costco hot dog's $1.50 still.
I don't need a TV. I don't need hot dogs.
You don't want a $1.50 foot-long hot dog from Costco? The pizza's also $1.50.
Well, I'll eat the pizza, not a hot dog. You know what those are made of?
All the stuff that you don't want to eat?
Well, there's a specific term, but you know.
Oh, man.
There you go. You can get 8 9-volt batteries on Amazon for $12. That is a good point. You do need to buy your batteries on Amazon. You need to buy most everything on Amazon. I mean, there's no defeating it. All right, that guy's just going to continue to get richer, but it doesn't matter because he sells cheap stuff. Yeah. Just get a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle. You'll sleep all night long. Now, that's true, too.
I mean,
hey, have you seen the price of Pappy Van Winkle? It's cheaper to get the batteries.
I'm a bourbon on a budget type guy.
Yeah.
There's top shelf, there's middle shelf, and then there's the Borkey shelf.
There's the Jim Beam Plastic Traveler. That's where Borkey is.
Like, does this make me sick when I consume it? No. Okay, good enough for me.
We're good.
I've got a buddy that's like, Borkey, do you want to join a bourbon club? I was like, yeah, are we talking about Evan Williams Green Label and Black Label? Sure. Yeah. I will join that bourbon club. He's sending me names of stuff I've never heard of, like 25-year bourbons. Like, yeah, you could be part of this. We do an exchange. It's like, you guys will kick me out. First one. Sports Talk Mississippi most of the time, anyway. Can we
what do they say hot dogs are made of? Hey, Dad, yeah, that's going to be on our Patreon feed. That's for adults only.
What is not for adults only is baseball. Big night of baseball coming up. We will get to that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi, don't go anywhere.
From the Venable Glass Traffic.
Check this out. Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Were you a Styx fan back in the day?
Not so much. They're a good band, but they weren't like high on my priority list.
I hear you.
But they're good.
I'm a big fan. I don't know where that came from either, but I am. Hey, it is election day. I know Hadad's really jacked up about primary election day.
I got to call the elections tonight. I've already pre-ordered the pizzas that I will be sending a receipt to corporate for.
If you have not voted, this is I guess this is a big year for primaries, right? The Senate is up in the state of Mississippi. It shows what I know. I hope you guys listen to mornings and middays to get your political takes, because you're not going to get any from us. However, you are going to get election coverage tonight. SuperTalk Mississippi News has got you covered. The latest results will be on air throughout the night. Yes, I know baseball games will take over our stations. You're still going to get your election updates throughout the night from SuperTalk News. Plus, you get live up-to-the-minute election results on the SuperTalk app. If you don't have it by now, download it because it's free, and also it doesn't take much storage. If you're like me and you've got 6,000 pictures and videos of your children on your phone, storage kind of matters. The SuperTalk app is very light in storage. It won't make an impact at all for you. And also, you get all your content, podcasts, and most importantly tonight, your election coverage. Supertalk.fm/elections also on your web browser. No paywalls, nothing like that. Just the latest election results from across the state. Follow SuperTalk News at SuperTalk News on Facebook and X, the Everything app. The election coverage is brought to you by Southern Consulting Associates Incorporated, leaders in government relations, public policy, and regulatory affairs in this great state. With more than 2 decades of experience, let Sandy Ray and her team help you navigate the state government. Go to southernconsultingms.com to learn more. Also, Bank First, serving Mississippi communities since 1888. Not 1988, 1888. Bank First puts Mississippians first. It's in the name. From personal and business accounts to convenient mobile banking, Bank First makes managing money easier. Visit bankfirstfs.com to learn more.
Are you seeing this picture from our friend Johnny? By the way, this is our friend, our close personal friend, Johnny in West Point.
Holy crap.
My man has got a bourbon collection that would make anybody jealous. That is a fine collection, my friend.
Goodness.
Look at this. I mean, goodness gracious.
He's got Weller on the bottom.
He's got Pappy on the bottom.
Does he really? Oh, he does have Pappy on the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's an impressive. That's a labor of love right there is what that is. Good
there
stuff.
are many thousands of dollars of bourbon on this shelf.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's incredible, man. That is
Darren
incredible.
and Jackson says, I'm a member of a cigar and scotch club, and just the name is expensive.
Yeah, I couldn't. I could do a beer club, and only certain price points on the beer club, too, to be honest with you. But, no, I'm kidding.
Michael Borkey's Natty Light Club.
Hey, light Pilsners, man, I got you. What do you think about Miller versus Coors?
Oh, Johnny says that's just part of it. Johnny.
My man.
Booby.
You got
it's funny. I'm actually not a big bourbon guy, but I'll come have a sip.
Especially the good one, if somebody's offering the good one.
Oh, yeah, you don't turn it down. I've told you my story about the whiskey, right? I didn't know. I didn't know. It's like a I don't know, $60 pour of whiskey, and I just shot it down like it was Jägermeister. It's like, why is my mouth so hot? I need water.
Oh, man.
That was a bad one.
Another big one in Hattiesburg tonight. Ole Miss at Southern Miss. Taylor Rabe and Thomas Crabtree going to take the hill. Now, I think Rabe will extend a little bit if he's able, if he's capable, right? Yeah. If Southern Miss doesn't chase him. Ostrander told us yesterday that they're not going to do the 9 pitchers and 9 innings thing necessarily, but I would expect to see more Southern Miss arms and Ole Miss arms tonight.
You have to attack it that way. You've got conference play starting this weekend. You can't. You want fresh arms, right? So honestly, I think, and this is probably true for State tonight with Foster as well, but for Ole Miss, for Southern Miss, if somebody can get a lead and hold on to it, they might try to get somebody to get 5 or 6 innings this evening and see how few guys they can throw. I think all 3 schools, and obviously Tulane would as well. But when you're talking about teams that have a chance to win, I think I say that I'm going to jinx State, but I just feel like any of those 3 schools, if they can get a lead and hold on to it, they would like to extend pitchers as much as they can tonight.
And especially, from the Ole Miss perspective with Rabe, I think that's somebody that they can use and maybe want to use, has the potential to use in kind of long relief situations on the weekend. So there's not a better test than you can have tonight with him getting a start, but against this Southern Miss team in this environment. I mean, I asked Mike Bianco the way I asked him yesterday for a reason. I said, conference play starts, this weekend, but does it feel like it starts tomorrow night, obviously being tonight in Hattiesburg, because you're going to have a hostile environment and a team that's in the top 10 and number 1 in the RPI for a reason. I mean, this tonight is as good of a test for a midweek start as you possibly could get. And so, I'm excited to see what he's capable of and how Southern Miss handles this. And, this kind of game is just really exciting and really fun, and you only really get games like this in Mississippi.
And honestly, if you're Ole Miss going to Texas this weekend, what a great chance to get prepared for it, right? This atmosphere will be a lot tougher.
They'll be meaner, for sure. And I mean that complimentary, by the way, guys.
Yeah, in the best possible way. Yeah. This is a great way to get ready for conference play, is to go on the road and play a game like this. It'll feel like, back at home when you go play Texas.
And so I think tonight too, it's one of those things where I wouldn't be surprised if neither lineup really puts up a lot of runs. We mentioned it with State Arkansas this weekend what was our number? First to 5?
5, yeah.
First to 5 in each game. wins 2.
Mm-hmm.
First to 5 or 6 tonight, I think, wins. And now that I said that, it's going to be 12-8.
Well, I mean, that's
whatever,
what happened last week with the game, though. I mean, State scored 6. You can't have predicted State to have given up 3 unearned runs.
Mm-hmm.
So, 6 would have been enough to win if the defense had held up. Probably the same tonight. And, I know it's really early, but Ole Miss defensively has had some issues this year. So if USM can take advantage of that again, they're in prime position to get another big resume-building win.
And if I'm Southern Miss, that's what I'm doing too. I'm doing kind of a small ball approach tonight.
Yeah.
If I get a runner on, I'm bunting him. I mean, you've had a handful of miscues and errors from Foley and whoever was catching for Ole Miss. The left side of the infield has had some struggles as well. I would just put the ball in play. You know, put it down and try to move runners. And I mean, you've had situations where Ole Miss is trying to throw a guy out and it goes into the outfield to give up an extra base. Ole Miss lost a rundown the other night. What was it, Friday of last week, where they caught a guy going a little bit early, but they just got beat in the rundown and gave him second base. Whichever team makes fewer mistakes tonight, I think, is going to win. And so Southern Miss needs to really stress test Ole Miss, because so far they've been mistake prone. But if they're not tonight, they'll have a great chance to win.
How has Udemark been at third with the position change?
Struggle. I mean, he has a few mistakes as well. Now, he's a really good fielder, though. He's got a track record of it. But even he has, I think he's got 3 or 4 errors on the season. Let me double check.
What you're telling me is if I'm Southern Miss, I'm trying to put pressure on the left side of that infield.
Yes, lay down bunts, stuff like that. I mean, be
interesting to see if USM does that, if they want to try to play small ball like that.
Yeah, that's what I would do. That's most certainly what I would do. Okay, let's see. I think he's got 3, but let me make sure that I have this correct for you. He's got 2, but he's fielding 943 though on the. It's
not great.
Season. I mean, Foley's got 5.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
And Randall, your everyday shortstop, has 5.
Mm-hmm.
So the left side of your infield has 7 errors, and your catcher has 5. So catcher and left side of your infield has 13 errors. No, 12 errors.
That's 12, 14. It's not getting it done. Now, again, super early.
It is early.
But that's something, if that continues, it will cost Ole Miss games throughout the season. There is no question about that, especially the week they've got this week with USM and Texas. Errors are going to cost you games. You got to clean that up.
Now, and then on the flip side, I mean, this is an Ole Miss lineup that scares you with their power. Mm-hmm. And look, I mean, Southern Miss faced Mississippi State the other night, did really well pitching against that state lineup too. But there's a lot of power in this Ole Miss lineup, and I mean, they can flip a game on its head quickly. So really interesting matchup. A lot of variables. I think two good teams. And what's going to be an incredible environment in Hattiesburg tonight.
Should be.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back.
From the Seabrook.com, you're hearing Sports Talk Mississippi.
What? This is so
awesome on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you from the Pearl River Resort Studio. Louis wants to know, is there any way to watch the game in Hattiesburg tonight? Glad you asked. ESPN Plus is where it will be. Our friend Jason Baker will be on the call again. So, PSA, just like last week, it's not SEC Network Plus.
Right.
It is ESPN Plus.
I think for State, it's SEC Network Plus. I think. But for USM, Ole Miss, it is, as you said,
ESPN Plus, which you have to pay for, and if you don't presently, and you don't feel like adding another subscription, you might just have to listen to the radio tonight. Which, by the way, a bunch of the Super Talk stations, not all of them, will have the game on tonight because the rest of them air the Mississippi State game, but the Super Talk station that airs Ole Miss, you just got to Go to your SuperTalk app, and boom, you can listen to the game if you don't feel like paying for it tonight. But that is where it will be. And, I mean, what a massive, not just opportunity, but we're going to learn so much about Ole Miss in the next 4 games. I mean, I
feel like we know everything we need to know about them.
Pretty much.
I feel like we will. If on Monday Ole Miss has anything from 2 to 4 wins, they're fine. They're absolutely fine. 1-3, 0-4, they're in trouble. I mean, that's the margin for error, right?
Pretty much.
I'll give them all the way to 2-2, but at 1-3, and if, like I said, I think we said this last week, if they are 1-3, they really need to lose to Southern in there. You don't want to get swept on the. You don't want to beat USM, but then get swept at Tennessee or at Texas. That's bad. That's not what you want. You'd rather lose to USM and then take 1 in Texas.
I agree there.
Yeah,
but yeah, if they get 2.
They're fine.
You come back and you're like, you know what? Hey, that's exactly what they needed to do this week to get 2 road wins at top 10 teams this week. Frankly, a 2-2 week might get them back into the top 25.
And honestly, even if they lose to USM, if they win 2 at Texas, I mean, again, you might be willing to take that more than.
If you gave me the choice, I would take the 2.
Take the 2 at Texas. Austin. You don't want to be 2-1 in the SEC to start. Yes. You're 2-1 and you started with a road series. You're in great shape. Great shape. So it's just one of those things like, yeah, it's a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow to lose to an in-state rival, but
it'd be different if they weren't this good.
Yeah, well, you got to think about the greater good. Yeah. You know, what's more important is winning those games in the SEC.
So yeah, but we will learn a lot. I mean, they did what they needed to do in the non-conference, right? They're 15-2. They're top 10 in the RPI. They did lose to, I guess, the 2 best teams that they've played with Baylor and Coastal, but I mean they're in great shape entering conference play. Well within the possibility of being a host if you take care of business. No bad losses. Now we're about to find out how good you are.
That's the biggest thing is the no bad losses, right? Because you're going to have plenty of opportunities for good wins in the coming weeks, and that's true for Mississippi State as well. You know, if you win your conference games, you will host. Simple as that. No questions asked. Mm-hmm. So it's all about that. It's all about that for these 2 schools. For Southern Miss, really the same thing, right? Southern Miss's resume is impeccable, maybe the best in the country right this second. 2 wins over UC Santa Barbara, a win over Oregon State, a win over Alabama, a win over Mississippi State, 3 wins at Louisiana Tech, a win over Ole Miss tonight. That's the best resume in the country going into conference play. If they just handle their business in the Sun Belt, which you got to believe they will with the pitching depth that they have, as we said last week, it's not going to be just about hosting for Southern Miss. It's going to be, can they be on the left side of the bracket and possibly host a super regional if they handle their business.
Yeah. Especially if Mississippi State continues and Ole Miss
and Alabama
does well
and Oregon State. Now those other teams they've already beaten.
What I mean is you don't want to be a 3rd team in the state looking for a host site.
Right. Yeah, the 3rd team, the 3rd best team, the 3rd best team in the state, I almost screwed up there, is in trouble. Because even if you have a great record, the NCAA is going to be loath to put 3 regionals in the state of Mississippi.
And before you say, that's insane, that's so dumb, that's the NCAA for you. I mean, insane and dumb, that's what they are.
Florida, Texas, and California are probably the only 3 states that could host 3 regionals. Like
but
Florida,
even then, they would still be reluctant to do that.
Florida State, Miami were all good. They'd host. UCLA, I don't know, Irvine, maybe, I don't know, somebody, California, USC, Stanford maybe.
Yeah, USC's good so far anyway.
Texas A&M, Texas Tech, TCU, those could all. Got to remember, they're going to look at their different conferences. It'd be one thing if they were all in the same conference, and that helps here in Mississippi as well.
They still don't want to do it though.
They don't want to do it. There's no question.
Mississippi State in Biloxi tonight. My annual plea: Ole Miss and State both bring your football team down to the coast. Bring your football team down to the coast. There is a large fan base for both of you down there, and they are very far from you. It's hard to get to games from the coast, and LSU's nearby, and LSU's pulling nearby. That's what they try to do. They get into that coast market. Ask people that live in the coast how much LSU stuff they see
like
around
a virus.
There. I mean, it really is. It's just spreading like The Last of Us. Isn't that what that show's called?
Yes.
Where it's like the mushroom
fungus.
or the fungus thing. Yeah, that's what LSU's trying to do to our coast. You have spring practice, or there's soon going to be summer OTAs. Get on buses, go down to the coast, practice in front of your fans down there for a couple of days, because you're going to see it tonight. That ballpark on a Tuesday night in Biloxi is going to be packed with Mississippi State fans for a baseball game. Imagine what they would do for your football team. Go down there and serve the coast with football. But tonight, they're getting baseball. What do we need to know?
The Carolinas have had 3 in one state. That's true. Have they?
Have they had 3 in one state? Clemson, South Carolina, and Coastal have all hosted at the same time?
I don't know. And again, North Carolina State, and maybe East Carolina have hosted at the same time? I don't know.
They don't want to do it, though. I promise they don't.
You got to remember, also, this is Mississippi, and as much as we love it, other people don't.
And we'll talk about some of that coming up later.
There will be talking about there will be some talk about, the state of Mississippi can't support this many regionals,
which is stupid, but they will say it.
Yeah, they will say it though. They will say it.
All right, tonight, Mississippi State, Tulane. Mm-hmm. Beautiful ballpark down there on the coast. What do we need to know?
For State, they've been so good against everybody this season. Even in the games they lost. I mean, they had late leads. They played well. They just made a mistake here or there and let it get away from them. They're coming off of a weekend where they could not stop hitting the baseball. Everybody in the starting lineup, I don't know what the starting lineup is going to be. If Nunnally or Teal's not in it, everybody's over 300 in all likelihood. They're just hitting the ball well. They've got to continue to figure things out with pitching. I like their weekend guys. I like the 3 starters. They've got a couple of guys in the bullpen that I feel are very reliable at this point, but they got to find a few more. And so, tonight, Foster, you would love for Foster to be good tonight, because he's a guy. He's a piece that if he's good and he can become a reliable 4th starter for you, it's going to take you a long way. One thing I like to point out is the 2 years where Lamonis went to the World Series, 19 and 21. I believe they only lost a total of 2 non-conference games. Winning these games like this is how you get your resume right. If you handle your business in the SEC, if you're 500 or better, if you've handled your non-conference, you will host. Look at 2024 with State, right? They did not handle their business in non-conference. They lost 6 non-conference games. They didn't host. 2014 is another good example. They were 18 and 12 in the conference that year, but they lost 8 non-conference games, so they didn't host. So win tonight and then go handle your business this weekend in the SEC, starting with Arkansas, a team that seems like they're reeling a little bit. You got a chance to go in there and get this series, and you're off to as good a start as anybody.
Looking forward to it. It's just a one-off, right? In the past, they've done 2 nights.
They've had a couple times where they've played 2 different teams. They've had some games where they played a team twice. This is just one game, which I think is the better idea, to be honest with you. You're talking about if you stay till Wednesday, right? You're not going to get back into Starkville until, 3 a.m. Thursday morning?
You just go straight from there is where you get.
You got to go straight to Fayetteville. That's just you don't want to do that. If State was playing at home this weekend, maybe you would do that. But playing on the road, it's better to get the extra day. They'll be back in Starkville, like I said, about Wednesday, 3 a.m. They get all day Wednesday to get back in business and then get on the bus Thursday. I think that's the better way to do it.
Just thinking out loud, I wonder if they've considered Governor's Cup type games down there. It's a longer trip for both.
Yeah.
And the Governor's not based on the coast. He's based in Jackson. So.
What they should do, and I don't know if you've got the crowd, the capacity at that stadium, but to bring back a version of the Winn-Dixie Showdown down there and have State, Ole Miss, Southern play a round robin against 3 other teams over the course of a weekend. You get 3 games a day, and everybody plays.
That'd be sick, man. That would be awesome.
That's what they used to do at the Superdome with LSU. You'd play the Winn-Dixie Showdown. LSU, Tulane, and UNO would invite 3 other teams, and it was awesome baseball. But I don't know if the Shucker Stadium could handle the crowd that State LSU and Ole Miss LSU and then honestly USM LSU would put in the stadium. I don't know.
Well, what you would do, State, Ole Miss, and Southern don't play each other.
Right,
you
don't play each other.
3 other teams.
It's the other. It's kind of like what State did this past week, or when in Arlington, what Ole Miss did in Houston.
You could do that there.
So could you host State LSU in a stadium that holds what? How many does it hold?
So we'll pick this back up in just a second. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
From the Venable Glass.
Come on. Are we going to do this?
Back to Sports Talk Mississippi.
Keep rolling. 3, 2, 1.
Super Talk Mississippi.
All right, let's flesh
That's my
this.
national anthem.
Let's flesh this out a little bit.
All right, so I looked.
But here's before you go down that first, what's the capacity?
6,098.
So here's what you do.
All right, we got to figure this out.
It's Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss. Those are your three teams.
Okay.
And you invite teams that would not travel well.
You can't invite an SEC team.
No, it can't. No, it's got to be somebody.
So you invite
but
Tulane,
a good team though.
You invite Tulane, maybe Louisiana,
Coastal Carolina,
South Alabama. Coastal will be a good choice. Well,
because they wouldn't travel well, but it's a good team.
Do you go a different way entirely, and get some teams you wouldn't play? Like, are we going to get Sun Belt teams when USM has to play them?
No.
Why not get
UCLA?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I would say like UTSA. They're ranked in the top 25. Maybe
What about
a
like
Big 12,
Indiana.
You could easily get a couple of Big 10 schools to come. They would want to come because they got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They can't play up, Michigan, Indiana would be good choices. Somebody from the Big 12, somebody like, Oklahoma State's not going to bring a ton of people, Iowa State, something like that.
Does Iowa State play baseball?
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen an Iowa State baseball anything. I'm sure they might.
Iowa State Cyclones.
Iowa plays good baseball, or they have anyway.
They do not play varsity baseball.
How about that?
Program discontinued in 2001. They play as a club team.
Didn't they just cut gymnastics too, and everybody's mad at their AD over that?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Tulane, Houston, East Carolina. That's a good field.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a good field to play the three Mississippi schools.
You don't have to worry about crowds.
None of those schools are going to bring more than a couple hundred fans.
So then it's, you're serving the people of Mississippi while creating a neutral site, quality game against teams that would love the neutral site RPI boost as well.
Yeah, Mike and Oxford, UConn, Northeastern, and Maine. I promise. The fans won't be there. It'll be all the fans of your team. And here's what's funny is UConn is a year in, year out pretty competitive program. Maine used to be back in like the late 90s. Mississippi State actually has played in the Maine regional. I remember that when I was in high school. So
how about that?
Yeah, Georgia Tech, Texas Tech, Penn State. I would like to see Penn State this year because they got that Japanese guy who's talking about it's going to be a top 10 pick. I wouldn't mind seeing the Nittany Lions. But you're on the right path there. Stay away from the Sun Belt. No SEC teams. Some teams from around the country. This feels like it's a moneymaker.
You would think so,
especially at a time where nobody's playing in that stadium. So you have a weekend where you bring a ton of people into town for a weekend at the coast, all the casinos down there.
And if you're playing 3 games a day, you're going to get 6,000 people roughly per game.
Yeah.
18,000 fans per day for 3 days?
Yeah. You just switch it. One night State's the last game. One night Ole Miss is the last game. One night Southern Mississippi is the last game. So everybody gets the nighttime game. You probably make Southern the last game on Sunday because their fans have the shortest.
They're
travel.
closest. Yeah.
And this is. You want to be totally honest.
Keith Carter, Zach Selman,
Zach, and Jeremy, if you're listening, this is a great idea. But on top of that, this is something that SuperTalk could be a part of.
Now you're really cooking.
This is something that we, if we could get all 3 schools involved, we could. It could become the SuperTalk Invitational.
All right, Chef Hadad.
That's 2 days in a row, brother. The ingredients are flying. I'm excited.
Man, a lot of good ideas. Florida State. I don't think they would travel particularly well.
Florida State, Tulane, and Dallas Baptist is a good one. That's a good one.
Michigan, Texas Tech, Florida State. That's 3 great choices.
Yeah. See, it's Arkansas State. You're going to play Arkansas State. if you're a Southern Miss fan. So, and now I wouldn't want them.
Now, you want to avoid somebody that you'd play.
Right.
The SuperTalk Showdown. The SuperTalk Mississippi Showdown.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying anything. We got to
make some phone calls after
I'm not saying anything.
We got to make some
I'm just
phone
saying.
calls.
Yeah.
What's our
free
cut?
content, by
That's
the way.
our idea. What's our cut?
This is free content, by the way. Free content. We didn't charge you for any of these ideas. What is our cut?
Well, what is our cut? I mean, we're owed a percentage
we're doing
finder's fee.
Well, on top of it, we get a small cut of the revenue. We are the color. We're the play-by-play and color guy. Borkey and Hadad in the booth.
Do you know how much fun that would be? Honestly,
yeah. By the way, those are only going to be available on satellite radio because I'm just going to let it fly.
I mean, okay, honestly. Yeah. So the guys at the next round get to do that for Auburn, the exhibition game that they play.
Okay.
They've gotten to commentate on it, and they got to.
But honestly,
they got to let loose and enjoy.
Between
you know what I mean.
Think about people who just have SuperTalk connections, right? Like between Caleb for State and Richard for Ole Miss. I'm sure we can find a contracting job for Jason Baker and have Southern Miss covered, and we're done.
No, but I mean, it's baseball season and it's vacation season.
You and I are just putting our feet up on the dugout and just sitting up there
having a beer.
Yeah. Bring us another beer. That'll be $6.50. Sir. No, sorry. I created this.
More sports talk after the news from the Pearl River Resort Studio.
Come on, Super Talk Mississippi.
Check this out.
Are you ready? Yeah. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Grass cutting time is here, whether you like it or not. For a limited time, Ag Up Equipment has the John Deere Z915E Zero turn mower on sale for just $8,500 plus tax. Or you can apply for the Richard Cross package and pay $25,000 a month. Up to you.
Up to you.
That's a big drop, by the way, that $8,500. That's a huge drop. Regular price is $13,999. That's a mower with a 60-inch deck and a 25-horsepower Kohler engine. That seems like a lot for a lawnmower, but they've got larger ones if that's what you're interested in at Ag Up. There are only a limited number available, so financing options are available. Or if you're Richard Cross, you just pay straight cash, homie. Just talk to your local Ag Up store for the details. Stop by any Ag Up location or visit them online at agup.com.
Yeah, I got to look at all their especially the equipment for the farm out there, but if you've got hunting property or something like that, they've got the equipment for you. And hey, I mentioned the financing options. They would surprise you in a good way, how good that they are. I know it's that season.
In a good way.
There's
there's
bad financing, like credit card financing surprises, and then there's the good financing surprises at Ag Up. I think we're cooking with this idea. You know what else is cooking, Hadad? Do you smell? The SEC tournament. Are you ready for the SEC tournament? And I can't do it. I can't do it.
Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. You kind of look like that guy. A little bit like Tim Robinson.
I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I need it badly.
You are a little shaggy.
No, you know what's interesting is somebody said to me the other day, and I agree completely. Chris Beard, in a way, is quote-unquote saved by how long football lasted on the minds of Ole Miss fans. And what I mean by that is, he's not getting fired no matter what. I mean, they could have lost every single game, and he's not going to get fired. That's not what I mean. But
right.
I think that because football lasted not just through the playoff, but remember, it went playoff, and they went to the semis, and then it turned into portal, and then it turned into Trinidad. Yeah. And that lasted deep into February.
Yeah, nobody was paying attention.
Nobody was paying attention to how bad the basketball team was. Really they had not been good. They lost a bunch of non-conference games. This was a disappointing season, really, from basically the beginning. But his fans were distracted by football, and then baseball came. And here's this baseball team that went 15-2 in the non-conference. And so I think people's the animosity that the season should have received was much less because football, and then shortly after football ended, baseball season is beginning. And so you never got that 3 months of...
It's kind of funny because it's kind of the opposite here in Starkville in that Jan Safe, obviously, 3 straight NCAA tournaments before that, had a terrible season, but starting in about the middle of football season when things unraveled, everybody was looking ahead to opening day. And so it was just like, even if basketball had been really good, I think there would have been a lot of, yeah, but baseball in this fan base this year. So kind of an interesting, I guess the word is confluence of circumstances for these two basketball coaches. That said, if this time next year we're talking about similar situations for State and Ole Miss, we'll be talking about coaching searches at State and Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Somebody says the Sweet 16 run also saving him from what if they missed the tournament last year and then had this terrible year this year? Well, then you'd be...
Yeah, if he had been 3 straight years, yeah. But I didn't think Chris Beard was ever going to be 3 straight years without an NCAA tournament. No. So, I mean... But and what's funny is I think both coaches had the same problem, is that they just made bad portal evaluations. I think they spent money. They got guys that other schools wanted, but they messed on their evaluations.
And Ole Miss lost a lot of close games, too.
Yeah, State did.
Close games to bad teams, too.
Yeah, that wasn't a problem here.
The game was never
just
close.
Getting blown out week after week.
But
I mean, I say that. I could probably, especially in the non-conference, I could find 5 or 6 games for State where if Quincy Ballard had been what he was advertised to be, if Achor had been a little more of what you thought you were going to get, if Jaden Epps was a little more consistent, that you would have had more wins. I could probably very easily do that.
Mm-hmm. My response to this is probably not going to be particularly popular, but it's how I feel when you guys ask for my opinion. Somebody says Chris Beard also gets the benefit of Ole Miss getting over Lane Kiffin. He is saying the right things as opposed to the Kiffin saga. And you're right, he is. He is saying everything correct. The exact things that you want a coach to say to a fan base after a disappointing year, he is saying all of those things. From my perspective, and maybe I'm just a cynical person by nature, because of the way that the sport is and the way that Ole Miss is investing in the sport, 2 years in a row, he leveraged other openings for fat raises, big contracts, and more in NIL, right? Especially the Texas A&M job. You're paying Ole Miss is paying their basketball coach like football coaches get paid, right?
Yeah.
Ole Miss is paying their basketball coach more than Mississippi State's paying their football coach by almost $2 million a year. And so when you do that, I'm not moved by saying the right things. My response to that is, well, you better. I vow that there's going to be a better product next year. Yeah, there better be. Especially after you provided the career lifeline that you gave to Chris Beard when you hired him.
I think...
And so I'm cynical. I get it. I'm not moved by statements. I'm moved by wins and losses now. So I hear you, and the fans want to hear what you're saying. It doesn't do anything for me. Go win basketball games next year. That's the only thing that matters.
I think Beard and Jans both are uber competitive guys. This is wearing on them. Like when I've talked to Jans this year, that's not the same guy I've talked to the last 3 years. I mean, and not in the way of he's beat down by it, but he's just... You can feel his frustration, and he knows it's on him. He's not blaming anybody but himself in the way that he's coached this year or the decisions that he made in the transfer portal. I assume Beard is the same way. Both of these seasons are anomalies for these two coaches, right? Beard has a long track record of success. Jans has a long track record of success. There's no reason to think that next year won't be back to their normal winning ways. If it's not, then you have the hard conversation, but... I'm surprised at how much pessimism, especially on the Mississippi State side, there is about the way Jans has performed this year and that this isn't an outlier and people believe this is the start of some sort of new normal. This guy's been a winner everywhere he's been. There's no reason to think he won't get right back to it next year.
No reason to think that, but that better happen.
It has to happen.
It has to happen.
I just don't think coaches, they're not dumb. They know that there's millions of dollars.
Some of them are. Not these ones, but some of them are.
They know that, hey, I can't do this again. They know that. Mm-hmm. So, they're not going to go. It's not like they just when both of these teams are probably going to lose on Wednesday. I'm hopeful. Ole Miss, I'm sure I'm with Ole Miss fans when I say I could care less. But for State, I'd like them to beat Auburn just to get Auburn out of the NCAA tournament picture, just for the vibes. But after that, I don't care. And I don't think when these two guys, when the season ends, they're just be like, all right, we're going to Cancun and I'll be back in August. I don't think that's happening. They're going to be working to try to improve their rosters.
It's going to be a long month before the portal opens. Well, at least, after this week, you don't have anything to worry about. You just go attack the portal. There's nothing else to do.
And this
other
is
than rebuild your roster.
State fans are upset because you wasted a year of Hubbard. You only have one more year with him now. You were hoping to get 4 straight solid years because you have this, tremendous player on your roster. And you did. You gave away one of his years. So we'll see how it all pans out. I get that frustration, though, for sure.
Hogman says Cal and Chicken Man are applying pressure. Hogman, when are they going to start applying pressure in football? When does that happen? Because it's been over a decade now, Hogman. When is the Chicken Man going to apply pressure in football? I sometimes I forget Arkansas is in the SEC, Hogman.
You're ruthless.
When you play Arkansas, it's like you're playing Arkansas State. What's the difference between the two at this point, Hogman?
Oh, man, jeez.
Winning basketball games is great, but don't you want to win football games at some point? I don't know.
Poor Hogman.
Hogman's going to kill me. He's going to kill me when Arkansas wins a national championship. He's going to be ruthless.
In which sport?
Not football.
Yeah. Not baseball either.
No, they'll drop that game-winning pop fly again. But basketball has a chance.
That's a good basketball team.
It actually is a good basketball team. They have
the best player in the conference in Acuff. That guy's great. So
what about Cal leaves Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas becomes good.
Yeah.
Kentucky falls back to mid.
It's not surprising. Calipari is a good coach. And Kentucky, I understand why they wanted to get rid of him. At the same time,
maybe they need to find a mirror to look into.
The problem was they went out and hired a guy who wasn't an elite coach. Mark Pope, who had a couple good years at BYU, he's not an elite coach. You're Kentucky. Put your money out on the table and hire an elite basketball coach to lead your program. Simple as that.
We will go to the Farm Bureau guest line when we come back. Let's talk some free agency. The Saints have been making moves, both really good and also sad, with the departure of Brandon, Mississippi's own Demario Davis. We'll talk about that with a guy that's been covering it, our good friend Johnny Sox. We'll do that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
Let the broadcasting of the disturbed continue.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
When we said what's up, I didn't actually tell you what was up.
Yeah, start over.
Oh, Sports Talk Mississippi. It just occurred to me when I said what's up on Sports Talk Mississippi, I didn't actually tell you what was up. What's up is John Sokoloff is going to join us here from WGNO down in New Orleans, my good friend. Hey there, John.
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Yesterday was a busy day for you down in New Orleans. A lot of movement on the free agent market for the Saints. Were you surprised by how aggressive they were?
Not overly surprised. I think that a lot of those moves show that Mickey Loomis shares a pretty similar sentiment that a lot of, this fan base shares, that, okay, this team has the important pieces in place to maybe compete for the NFC South next year. Let's address some big-time needs. That's what they did with the Edwards signing. That's what they did with the ETN signing. Well, they probably knew of multiple things, which is why they signed ETN. And, obviously addressing the punting need as well. I mean, those were 3 big-time needs that this team had, and they addressed them in a big way. And it's pretty nice when your cap situation isn't completely in disarray and you can move some things around and make some nice moves. But everyone down here is very, very excited after the moves they made yesterday, getting Tyler Shuck some protection and some help while, also getting ready for a very busy draft. They also got an extra comp pick in the 4th round. So things are looking very optimistic down here in New Orleans. And obviously it all stems from the fact that they have the quarterback.
Let's talk about a departure, though, one with some Mississippi flavor. Demario Davis, longtime Saint, all-time great guy, going to finish his career as a Jet where he started. From my perspective, John, tell me if you agree with this. I hate it. Still a great player, even despite being 37 years old. But if he's going to be 39 making $11 million a year, I'm okay that it's not with the Saints.
You know what? With Demario Davis, it's hard to not factor in the age, right? But he's like the NFL version of Benjamin Button to me. This guy, his tape last year was the best tape of his career, and he even agreed with that. One of my biggest regrets down here, I saw him in the locker room one day, and it was off the record, and I was talking with him at their practice facility, and I said, man, when looking at your tape, I feel this way. Do you think you're playing the best football of your career? And he said he did. And I was asking if he, did any changes to his regimen, to his eating habits, what he changed. And he said he had changed a lot. And one day we would sit down and talk about it. He had to go to a meeting. I didn't end up getting to do that story, but this dude is, again, the Benjamin Button of the NFL. And it's a big leadership piece that they're losing. And the linebacker position, there are a ton of guys out there that can really be the heartbeat of your defense. Now, again, the age thing is definitely a factor, and they wanted to allocate those resources elsewhere, but it stings for a lot of the fan base down here. I mean, they loved him. He played his best football here, played 8 seasons here, did a lot for the community, did a lot for the defense, did a lot to kind of, mentor guys. I mean, the way he talks to the team, you'd think he was like a preacher or a pastor or anything. He's very, very good in that regard, too. So definitely a blow for some Saints fans. But when you look at it from a practicality standpoint, I mean, the guy, like you said, 37 years old, it's okay to kind of turn the page on that.
So, John, when we look at the signing of Travis Etienne, it begs the question about the draft. I know that a lot of mock drafts in the weeks past had the Saints going with the running back out of Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love, at that number 8 position. Obviously, that probably won't be the case now. So do you have any idea of which way the Saints are leaning with that number 8 pick?
Yeah, the Etienne signing shows that Mickey Loomis knows Jeremiah Love will not be available with the 8th overall pick. I mean, let's talk about it, from another perspective. What would you rather have? An elite rookie running back on a rookie deal that's way younger, or would you rather have Travis Etienne, who's 27, giving him a 4-year, $52 million deal? Now, look, I love the Etienne signing. I think he's a really good player. He had a great year, almost 1,400 total yards, a passing threat, and in the receiving game, a threat that is, and also in the run game, he had 14 or 13 total touchdowns too. But direction for the draft, I'm not sure. Do they want to get a Caleb Downs in here and maybe kind of play in somewhat of that, I don't even know fully in the Alontae Taylor role, but, address some needs in the secondary. Can you put him there? And with his athleticism, Caleb Downs, you can plug him in a lot of different situations. Would a guy like Sonny Styles still be available? Another athletic freak, another guy, a part of that Ohio State defense. Those two guys could really be some big names. But what if they're both off the board, or, Styles is off and you have the choice between Carnell Tate or a Downs type? It all depends on who you think is the best player. I mean, should the Saints draft for need? Maybe a little bit, but in my opinion, I think the need aspect of things should just serve as a tiebreaker here when it comes to these guys. You got to take the best player available. Number 8 is like I don't want to say a crown jewel, but a very, very good asset in a draft like this. There's like 13 or 14 players I think could be studs at the next level. You can't overthink this. Take the best player, worry about the rest later, unless it's an offensive lineman. I think at the O-line position, maybe wait, because their needs on the offensive line with the Saints are more on the interior level, and you don't want to take a guard that high.
Is Cam Jordan, so tell me if I'm reading into this incorrectly. Cam Jordan has not signed anywhere yet. Nothing's happened with him yet. Is that a sign that he and the Saints are working on something? Because I feel like if he didn't want to stay, he'd already know where he was going.
Yeah, look, this Cam Jordan news has not been a surprise. I think once Schefter dropped that bomb out there, everyone thought, oh my gosh, Cam is leaving. When we talked to Mickey Loomis at the end of the year, he basically said, we're going to let him and DeMario kind of test the market, and we'll see what we can do and kind of go from there. Well, you saw DeMario tested. He had obviously a robust market. He took advantage. With Cam coming off a 10.5 sack season, I mean, clearly showing he's got a lot left in the tank. The dude's kind of a psychopath when it comes to how well he takes care of his body. That was something where it's like, okay, I mean, this guy's going to have a market for probably a big-time one-year deal. Would that mean he's going to Baltimore? I don't know. Baltimore's leading sacker last year had 4 sacks. Well, okay, well, now they got Max Crosby. Could he be going to Dallas if they don't get a Trey Hendrickson? Could someone else offer a big-time one-year deal? And also, would Cam take a little bit of a discount to stay? Like, these are all big factors that we got to think about. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of big-time players out there who have yet to be signed. I don't know what these teams are waiting for, but how come Trey Hendrickson hasn't been signed yet? How come Dallas Goedert with the Eagles hasn't, found a home? What about Cam Jordan? I mean, all these guys, I don't know what the next domino is to fall in this regard, but I mean, we'll kind of see how it transpires. But I mean, you talk about a guy that, means so much to this community. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a New Orleans athlete ever, based on what I've heard down here, what I've seen, that's done more for the community, done more for others. I mean, just an overall great guy. That would really, really sting this fan base. DeMario, was here for 8 years. Cam was here for 15. I mean, so who knows? I think that Staley's scheme is obviously perfect for a guy like Cam. And guys, think about this. If he stays, or no matter where he goes, if he replicates the success he had last year, he's going to be 7th all-time in sacks. I mean, that's just crazy. So, I would think they're trying to keep him around, but again, like it depends on what these other teams are really willing to pay, and if the Saints want to, go down that road, because I think they've got like 17 more million unless they restructure a couple other things. So who knows what other plans they have, but that one would really be a tough pill for this fan base to swallow if Cam Jordan goes elsewhere. But last year he took a big pay cut, so if I'm him, like I want to be valued. I want to get paid. I want, if I can get 1 year, 10 mil or a little bit more than that, fully guaranteed, I'm not blinking twice, especially if New Orleans doesn't come close to meeting it.
Got about 90 seconds left, John. Is there another position you expect the Saints to attack in free agency?
Oof. Well, let's see. I mean, they got the tight end, interior line. I mean, if they can get like another cheap interior O-lineman there just to kind of add some depth at that position, that could be good. And obviously, I think they address some of the biggest needs. I would like them personally maybe to get a veteran QB. Now, I don't know who that is, maybe to back up Shuck, and if you can trade Rattler out to a team that might have a little bit of interest in him, I think that could be good to add a little more experience to the QB room.
John Sokoloff, WGNO, down there in New Orleans. Hopefully you didn't have to skip lunch today, my friend. I know you're working hard.
I know, I am. Maybe, and I'll probably see you in a couple of weeks. I think I should be up there for Super Bowl Dog weekend. So
don't tempt me with a good time, John. We appreciate you, man.
Of course. I appreciate you guys too. Anytime.
John Sokoloff, WGNO, joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. He whetted my appetite by saying Caleb Downs. That got my attention. He had my curiosity. Now he has my attention.
I think they're going to go front 6 because Sanker was such a hit from last year's draft, but
yeah.
We'll see. A lot of options
if Downs is there at 8, I don't know how I could pass on him. Too good a football player.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We will look at some draft stuff when we come back. John, again, join us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Don't go anywhere.
From the Seabrook.com.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Here's more. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you. We get this message. 49 is completely shut down both directions between Jackson and Hattiesburg. Huge wreck. A lot of people going to miss first pitch. Tell DK to hold the start of the game for us. I'll shoot him a text and let him know that he needs to do something. Anything. Just, David, shut the game down. Delay it however you can. I would love to know what he would come up with. But no, of course, hope everybody's okay. And, there's your PSA for you. If you're trying to get down to Hattiesburg, you may want to avoid, I don't know how you can avoid 49, but good luck to those of you trying to get to the ball game in time. It really shows you the value in knowing what you've got at quarterback, especially knowing what you've got at quarterback on a rookie deal. 4 more years of a rookie deal. And Shuck may end up not working out. Maybe he could end up sucking. It is just a rookie year. He played well, is doing a lot of things right, acclimating to the team and the city and all that. I mean, the players apparently just love him, and anyway. Imagine being a team that doesn't have that right now and what you've had to do. I mean, the Falcons gave Kirk Cousins $1 billion, then drafted Michael Penix, and now they bring in Tua. It's embarrassing what they are at quarterback right now, the moves that they've made. The Jets just brought in Geno Smith. And the Dolphins gave Malik Willis a bunch of money. Imagine being quarterback needy right now. It's got to be a sinking, empty feeling. But when you think you've got your quarterback on a rookie deal, like the Saints do, instead of being desperate for mid or having to go into this draft hoping somebody at 8's going to be good enough to play quarterback for you, you can make free agent moves and you can draft best available at 8 and not even worry about it. It's just amazing what one draft pick can do for the entire mood, feeling, future, direction, everything for your franchise. It's amazing what Shuck working out last year has done for this team.
So I like this question about, what would happen? It doesn't appear like Love is going to fall to 8. But if he were, is that where the Saints could trade? Could somebody want to come up and get Love, and the Saints could maybe fall back to 10, 11, 12, and pick up a 3rd, 4th rounder in there or something?
So here's a mock draft from Field Yates, and before you're asking, yes, that is his real name. A guy that covers the NFL for ESPN's name is Field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Field Yates. We'll go based off his mock draft to see what the options are. Mendoza, 1, going to Vegas, no-brainer. Vegas has done pretty good so far in free agency as well. They are preparing for him to hit. That's what Vegas is doing right now. They're making moves around a quarterback that hadn't played a snap for him yet, but why not? Davis Bailey from Texas Tech at 2 to the Jets. He's an edge if you're not familiar with him. Arvell Reese going to the Cardinals at 3. He's also an edge from Ohio State. Carnell Tate going to the Titans at 4, obviously, again from Ohio State. This is nuts, by the way, the Ohio State flavor in this draft. Caleb Downs at 5 to the Giants.
There was a reason they were preseason number 1.
How did Miami...
I'm not talking about Miami. I'm talking about Ohio
I know,
State.
but how did they lose? How did Ohio State lose a game this season? How did they lose?
Huh?
Whatever. But Caleb Downs at 5. The offensive tackle, Francis Malgoa, right?
From Miami.
From Miami. Going to Cleveland. Jeremiah Love at 7 going to Washington. He has the Saints taking Sonny Styles, the linebacker from, again, Ohio State. He's the one that absolutely lit up the combine in ways that a player his size doesn't. He was actually a safety at one point. They moved him to linebacker, and he's every bit of 6'6", 245, and he ran a what was it, a 4.47 and had the highest vertical leap at his position in the history of the combine and like the longest long jump in the history of the combine and all of those
Some
things.
ridiculous stuff, no doubt.
An athletic freak going at 8. But here is what you're more interested in. The guys behind him may be trading back. The Chiefs taking a defensive back from LSU at 9. Reuben Bain at 10 to Cincinnati.
If Reuben Bain is there at 8, that's who I would take.
I think so too.
I just don't see how you pass up on him. I don't think you can do that.
I don't think so either. But that is something that I would consider. Now they've never done it. The Saints don't trade back. They just simply don't. But is that something that they should consider? Yes. I think that's something that they should consider.
100%.
If not outright, just do it.
Yeah. A lot of options here.
Yeah, and who would be there?
It feels like there's not a, it's kind of interesting that, how to put it, like the quarterback class in this draft we feel is very weak, right? We don't really like the quarterbacks in this draft. But it feels like the other positions, you've got a lot, especially on the defensive side of the ball, there's a lot. There's a lot of talent. I mean, John said it in the interview. He said there's 13 or 14 guys that right now everybody would say they'll probably be, at worst, make a Pro Bowl in the NFL.
Yeah.
It feels like the Saints are in a really good spot to get one of those players.
Ooh, what if you traded back and picked Zion Young?
Yeah, it's possible.
You satisfy a need at edge. You get a number one pick, or first round pick for next year, or a second and a third from this year to make that happen.
I wish the Browns didn't really needed a running back a little bit more than they do, because they'll always be towards the top, right? But like if the Titans don't take the running back at 4, they don't take Love, and Love is still there at 8, to trade with the Titans and see if you get their first rounder next year.
Ooh.
Because you know who you're getting next year? You're getting Jeremiah Smith. That's that's not the worst idea I've ever had.
That's not the worst idea.
So, but the good news is, as we've been discussing, is the Saints now are in a position where they have a lot more cap flexibility. They can move things around, and they have a high draft choice in what appears to be a deep draft in positions they're interested in drafting in. Right? They're not interested in quarterback, so that's not a concern that there's not a great quarterback here at this pick. But you have got a lot of good options defensively. Or if you want to go wide receiver, you've got some guys there as well. I mean, Carnell Tate would almost certainly be there at 8. Pairing him up in Olave, I mean, the Saints have just had success with Ohio State players. There's just no question about that. So wouldn't be another terrible idea there either.
Ooh, I have an idea. I have an idea.
I'm listening.
Caleb Downs in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
LT Overton in the second round.
I don't mind that. That sounds like a great idea. Brennan Thompson in the third round.
Would he be there in the fourth? Probably not.
Probably not.
Would he? If he's there in the fourth, then yes.
Then yeah, for sure.
Yes.
But even then in the third, I mean...
DeJon Stribling in the third.
Yeah, somebody like that. Yeah.
Bang.
There's some options here for the Saints. The Saints have a lot of good spots. Do you think the Saints are in the position now to win in the NFC South next year? We got to remember that the team that won the South this year was 8-9, and the Saints finished 2 games behind them. I mean, as bad as the Saints were in the early part of the season, when Shutt came in, they did start winning games.
Yes, they did.
And there's no reason to think they can't improve. I mean, this is not a division where you've got to win 12 games to win it, right?
No.
10 wins probably wins this division pretty easily.
And the Falcons are
not great.
Be Tua. The Bucs just lost Mike Evans.
Yeah. And they've got a new coach. The Panthers Bryce Young is so mid, and they just lost Rico Dowdell, who was their best offensive player after the receiver McMillan. Yeah, there's no reason not to think the Saints can't be challenging. Look, if they were in the NFC East, if they're in the NFC West, it would be a struggle. But in the NFC South, yes, they can win that division.
Kamara's about to age out. The Saints may want to start looking for the next guy. They got some good news for you.
Yeah, they got the next guy. They signed Travis Etienne just yesterday.
I guess they could, in theory, trade Kamara.
I wouldn't want to do that.
I wouldn't want to do that. And
maybe I'm just too loyal, but I wanted to see Davis retire as Saint, but Jordan and Kamara deserve to be Saints until the end.
Especially when, if you believe all the talk, he is a candidate for an early retirement, that he might not be long. He's even said, hey, if you're going to trade me, I'm just going to retire.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get anything for me. If you want me to move on, I'm just going to be done playing ball.
Yeah.
So you play him, he plays for another year.
He's still got some gas in the tank. I really do believe that.
And then he retires.
Yeah.
That seems like that's the most likely outcome here. But he and Etienne in the same backfield.
That's something to work with. And don't forget, you still have Kendry Miller, who can give you some downs running the football. And you still got Taysom Hill, who I'd like to see what happens. I'm still on board with my Taylon Green to replace Taysom Hill. I mean, the names are even similar. Taylon and Taysom. Just pass the torch.
Especially if he's there in the 6th.
If he's there in the 5th or 6th round, you absolutely do that. And you're like, buddy, let us introduce you to the future.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back in just a minute.
From the Venable. Here comes more Sports Talk Mississippi.
You ready, guys?
On Super Talk Mississippi.
So Hadad, a Mississippi State alum, speaking of free agency, just got a new deal.
Yeah, just saw that. Former Bulldog Elton Jenkins signed a 2-year deal with the Cleveland Browns. 2 years, $24 million, $20 guaranteed. And more Mississippi ties. His deal was done by Clutch Sports' Demarius Bilbo, who, of course, we've talked about him on this show before. Former Moss Point State Championship, I believe, winning quarterback down there in South Mississippi, and then played his college ball at Georgia Tech, I believe. And now is it's crazy, from Moss Point to the number one NFL agent for maybe the most powerful agency in all of sports. That's a guy I'd love to get on this show, just to talk, to see, tell us about the road from Moss Point, Mississippi to this.
Yeah. And then, how well do you know Devin Booker?
Yeah. They probably wouldn't know each other too well. There's a large age gap between them.
Yeah.
So he would be more likely to know Kevin Fant. So,
good stuff there. So again, we got baseball tonight. We talked earlier in the show about the matchup in Hattiesburg, and then also the one in Biloxi. You've got a ton of baseball happening I guess there's no games tomorrow for anybody in the league. I guess it's all tonight before Friday in the start of conference play. Southern Indiana is at Missouri. That's actually going on right now. Should be wrapping up here in just a second. We'll check on that. Missouri done okay in the non-conference. They have not been embarrassing, and that is
that's a step up for them.
Pat on the top of the head. Tennessee Tech is at Tennessee. Look out, Vols. PTSD there. Florida State is at Florida. That's on the SEC Network Plus if you guys want to watch that game. 2 ranked teams there. Ball State at Kentucky. Troy is at Alabama. UAB at Auburn. South Carolina's at the Citadel. That's at the minor league park there in Charleston is where the Citadel plays their home games. Stephen F. Austin at Texas A&M. Texas at Texas State. Indiana State at Vanderbilt. Creighton at LSU. Look out, Tigers. I mean,
they'll get you.
They better lock in. Yeah. And UT Arlington at Oklahoma. That is your baseball slate tonight in the SEC.
Yeah, it makes sense for everybody to play the one midweek this week with conference play starting up for everybody on Saturday. You want to get your ducks in a row, keep everybody as rested as you possibly can. So it makes a lot of sense.
Missouri won 14-6. They are 15-2 so far, Missouri. Their schedule is awful.
Doesn't matter.
But they're 15-2.
I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to go 3-27 again.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Still laugh thinking about them sweeping Texas A&M. That's one of the most unbelievable sports stories ever.
Yeah. Tomorrow is when the basketball tournament gets started. LSU and Kentucky.
Kentucky
Mark
played
Pope
on
has to win
day
that
one.
game.
Yeah, feels like it.
Win that game.
Yeah.
What were they? They're ninth seed in this tournament, and they spent over $20 million on the roster.
So a couple of must-win games tomorrow. They have to win, and Auburn has to beat Mississippi State.
Auburn, Mississippi State immediately thereafter. Auburn a 7.5-point favorite over the Bulldogs.
Well, if Hubbard goes for 46 again, I bet State wins.
Immediately after that, Ole Miss is up against Texas. Texas a 5.5-point favorite. And then South Carolina, Oklahoma to end the night. There will be Kentucky fans that will go to the Kentucky game at 11 a.m. and they will not leave that arena until South Carolina, Oklahoma wraps up.
Well, there will also be Kentucky fans who go to that game and then they sell their tickets if they lose for a large profit.
Those people need...
A first-round Kentucky loss is great news if you are a fan of another team because you can get cheap
for
tickets.
Nashville.
No.
But those people need some kind of an intervention because you're going to see it. Watch. I know none of you guys really want to watch the SEC basketball tournament. I don't want to, and I get paid to talk about sports, and I don't want to watch. There will be Kentucky fans at that South Carolina-Oklahoma game, and I think that the FBI or the CIA or whoever, the Department of Homeland Security, need to round those people up and just give them some kind of brain test. Like, hey, you guys are in Nashville. You're in Nashville. Your team played 9 hours ago. You don't do anything else? You don't go to the zoo? Great zoo there in Nashville. Plenty of public parks, a lot of great bars and restaurants, a lot of fun to be had. You don't want to do any of that? You want to watch South Carolina, Oklahoma? We need to test your brain function because I don't know if you should be allowed to drive a car.
Some people just like basketball.
That's not basketball.
It's got enough similarities to it. You know?
It's basketball adjacent.
Yeah. It's what Dr. Naismith intended.
When we come back, there's no crazy college football news today, so I'm actually going to take something from the World Baseball Classic and turn it into a fun or maybe heartburn-inducing conversation about what could have been here in the state of Mississippi with players that almost went to Mississippi State or Ole Miss. We'll do that for the college football fix, even though, again, the inspiration is going to be about a baseball thing. But we'll do that after the news. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere. We've got an hour left with you. Some of you are going to lose us at 5:30 for the pregame broadcast for baseball. SuperTalk.fm or the SuperTalk app is where you can catch us for the rest of the day. We'll be right back with your college football fix.
What do they want? Exciting news.
Brace yourself.
More Sports Talk Mississippi. Now.
Welcome in, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borkey and Brian Hadad with you. Let's just get right into it. It's your college football fix, technically.
Technically, the college football fix is brought to you by your Mississippi Ford dealers, where technically the best-selling truck in America has been the Ford F-150 for the past 50 years. So technically, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you need a new truck. Technically, you got no choice. You got to get after it and head to your Mississippi Ford dealers today. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
So here's why I say technically, because the only college football news today is this from ESPN. Mississippi State President Mark Keenum said that the SEC presidents and chancellors are meeting this week in Nashville with the hopes of starting to establish real rules and guidance for the league and others. Interesting, and others. Assuming Congress cannot establish federal legislation quickly enough on NIL. They're not expected to make any monumental decisions, but would like to get a framework started before the SEC holds its annual meetings in Destin. They are fed up with the status quo. That's a veil for talking about breakaway, by the way. But, hey, Dad, do you want to talk about that?
No.
Okay, so since you don't want to talk about that.
I can't stress enough how little I do.
It's interesting, though, but we'll see what comes of it. Again, they're talking breakaway. That's what they're talking about. That's what they're going to land on. They're going to talk breakaway. But last night in the World Baseball Classic, I know it's college football fix. We'll get there. In the World Baseball Classic, the United States beat Mexico thanks in part to this.
Took the game in. Sends this ball a mile. How far will it fly for Roman Anthony? Off the face into the second deck. 5-0 U.S.
Roman Anthony hit a ball from Houston to Dallas. I mean, that was a towering moonshot from the 21-year-old who was committed to Ole Miss before he got drafted by the Red Sox and got well above slot. I think he was like the 79th pick, got $2.5 million, and very quickly got his major league debut just 2 years later. And last year hit .292 with 8 home runs after he got called up, and obviously playing for the Americans in the World Baseball Classic. And obviously after he hit that home run, hey, Dad, in Ole Miss circles, you had the... Could you imagine had he ended up showing up to campus at Ole Miss? What could have been with Roman Anthony being on campus? So let's do guys being dudes here, or guys naming dudes.
Yeah, sure.
What could have been? Who are the biggest what could have been players for Mississippi State? And obviously there's a great one for Ole Miss right there with Roman Anthony because he's a star already.
I mean, I can give you a bunch for every sport.
There's the obvious one for football, though.
Well, you're going to say Cam Newton, and I wouldn't say Cam Newton because he was never committed to Mississippi State in this situation. We got to get somebody who was he was close, but I can give you a lot of guys like that. How many were committed? I'll give you one that you might not know. You might not know. You got to be an old time sicko like me to know that Keyshawn Johnson signed with Mississippi State out of high school. He was in the same signing class with Eric Moulds. Can you imagine Keyshawn Johnson and Eric Moulds on the same field at the same time? Derek Tate might have been the best quarterback in SEC history if he had had those two, but he didn't have his grades. He went to junior college, and he ends up at USC after that. So that's probably the biggest what if in terms of football. For basketball, I mean, I'll give you 3 names real easy. All of them played in the NBA. Two of them had long careers. But Jonathan Bender, Monte Ellis, and Travis Outlaw all signed with Mississippi State out of high school, but all went to the NBA draft. And, Bender was a lottery pick. Outlaw was a first-round pick. Ellis had to wait until the second round, but he might have had the best career out of all 3 of those guys. For baseball, I'll give you 2. You got to go back a ways, but Roy Oswalt was committed to Mississippi State, but obviously was drafted. Austin Riley would have been the third baseman on State's 2016 baseball team that won the SEC and hosted and lost to Arizona in the Super Regionals.
Imagine.
I can't imagine what 2 more years of him would have looked like.
Imagine.
He would have been on that. I guess he would have been on that 2018 team with Mangum that went to the College World Series as well. I mean, Austin Riley on a team with Brent Rooker, Jake Mangum, Jack Kruger, Nathaniel Lowe, who's still playing in MLB. Jacob Robson has played in MLB. I mean, that would have been it was already a great team. It would have just been that much better. So for State, man, yeah, there's a long list of those kind of guys.
I've got one that very few, if any, Ole Miss people will think about. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. You might be thinking, who? He's the guy that they brought in for the 2024 season to play running back after Quinshon Judkins left.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, he was the guy that was at Alabama State and then New Mexico before he transferred to Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. But during his time at Alabama State, there was an issue with him playing in too many games. He claimed that one of his teammates wore his jersey, and that's why it looked like he played in more games than he actually played in. Ole Miss compliance didn't buy it. So he went from Ole Miss to Arizona, played one game at Arizona before their compliance was like, we don't buy this either. And he only played in one game at Arizona. He's awesome, by the way. He had a great rookie season with the Washington Commanders football team. And if he would have been able to play for Ole Miss in 2024, not only do they make the playoff, a guy like him is the difference between being a championship contender or not. Remember, they had the number one defense in college football. They don't lose to Kentucky with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt on their team. They don't lose to Florida with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt on their team. The guy that played for the Commanders last year wins both of those games. So that guy.
That's a good one.
Stephen A. Smith. That guy.
That's even better in that, like, he was on campus.
He was on campus. He was
you
there.
had him.
But there was just, they had video, man, and he was trying to claim that it was a teammate wearing his jersey, and they just, when you have two different compliance offices not buying that story, there's probably a reason why. But if he would have been eligible, they would have made the playoff in 24 easily.
Who else do you have? You said you had two.
No, that was the one that, and then of course Roman Anthony is.
Oh, I'll give you another one. I'll give you a really easy one. Josh Hubbard.
Josh Hubbard, gosh.
Josh Hubbard signed with Ole Miss out of high school, and then Ole Miss fires Kermit Davis, puts him back into the pool, and he decides to go to State.
Could you imagine what Josh Hubbard would have been on an Andy Kennedy coach team?
I mean, the way Andy Kennedy liked to find a guy and let him fire at will. Goodness.
3 off-ball screens every trip down the floor. Him just running the baseline, turn, shoot.
He'd have had the opportunities, no doubt about that. So that's a good one. I'm trying to think.
Somebody says he doesn't play running back, Borkey. Yes, he does. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is a running back.
Plays running back. Yeah, he rushed for 805 yards last year for the Washington Commanders. What are we talking about? He's not a running back.
He's very much a running back.
I'm trying to think of another player for Ole Miss.
Jackson Jobe, there's one. Cooper Pratt. Oh.
Those guys who got drafted in MLB?
Yeah.
Okay.
Baseball, there's a lot of them.
Well, there's always, because you have guys that go pro every year. You have guys that you have, and then they go pro.
Nakobe Dean.
But Dean was never committed to Ole Miss, though.
They had him until they didn't.
Well, but until he never said the words, "I am committed to Ole Miss."
Well, he did say those words.
Not out loud. Not where everybody could hear.
Those words were said.
Yeah, but that's. I'm trying to think of another. Like State's got quite a few for baseball through the years. You know, they've had so many. But then you have guys like Ole Miss got Gunnar Hoagland that everybody thought was going to go high. State got JT Ginn for a year, and out of a first round pick. So sometimes it worked itself out.
Sometimes it does work.
Kirk Presley from Tupelo is a good one. That's a good one. Signed with State, but then was a first round pick of the Mets and never really did anything after that. His baseball career never really took off the way people thought it would.
This is before my time. Somebody says, how are we forgetting Frank Gore? He would have played with Eli.
Frank Gore was Frank Gore actually committed to Ole Miss, or did they just think he was going to sign with him? I don't remember that. I don't know if he was. I think he wasn't committed, so he wouldn't fit the definition. I think he was like a signing day choice, and everybody went to bed thinking Frank Gore was going to go to Ole Miss, and woke up in the morning and Miami had gotten to him.
Somebody says Ole Miss had Jason Sehorn?
I don't know. That's one I don't know.
Way before my time, too.
I don't remember that one. So
keep sending them in. 601-879-4395. Somebody says Frank wasn't committed, but obviously everybody thought that's where he was ending up.
Oh, the Saints. Another move by the Saints. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Nice. That's your college football fix driven by Ford. Keep sending yours in, though. We'll get back to them, I'm sure. But a baseball-themed college football fix. It's middle of March. Why not? We'll be right back.
From the Venable Glass
or Sports Talk Mississippi now.
You know what I'm excited about today, Michael Borkey?
What are you excited about today?
So yesterday, when the show ended, Robbie and I, our schedules kind of got crossed up during the day, so I had to record the podcast after this show. So by the time I got done with the pod and uploading it and putting everything together, it was dark outside. So today is the first day where I will walk outside, and it'll still be sunny.
How good of a feeling.
So I'm excited. I just looked out the window as I was during the break, and I was like, oh, it's still bright out there. I can't wait.
Couple more texts. Sue visited Mississippi State. Did Ndamukong Suh visit Mississippi State? Oh, man.
Yes. His sister ran track here, and I will never forget this as long as I live, and the statute of limitations run out. I ran into Shane Beamer in a bar in Nashville the night before State played Vanderbilt. He and I guess it was then girlfriend, now wife, were just out for having a beverage, and we talked for a little while. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get Ndamukong Suh. We're gonna get Marlon Lucky. He ended up at Nebraska. We're gonna get Josh McNeil. He ended up at Tennessee." He listed off all these guys, and I was just like, "Okay, I'll believe you on signing day." And he's like, "No, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine." And of course, State got none of those guys. So, but Suh, there was a point where State thought they were going to get him.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says Austin Riley's wife was in my sister's sorority pledge class. Used to come to campus all the time for date parties and stuff. Still think he's a big State fan. I think State can kind of claim him.
He's been on the sidelines for a number of Mississippi State games.
You can claim celebrity fans.
Yeah,
even if they didn't play
you
for
claim
you.
as a celebrity fan.
Yeah,
he's a big bull. Yeah, he's a big bulldog. He still loves the dogs. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, celebrity fan, that works.
Oh yeah, it's a good. Richard Sherman was another one that Kroom. He was coming, and something happened, and he wasn't.
Really?
You know my favorite Kroom recruiting story?
No, I don't.
He told Julio Jones he thought he'd make a great tight end.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
He's like, "You're too big to play receiver, but you'll be a great tight end in my system." And Julio was like, "Ah!" Because again, I think there was a moment there early, especially in Kroom's tenure, where he had some recruiting juice because he was the first African-American coach in the SEC. And you had some players interested in playing for him because of that. But he very quickly proved to be not a very good recruiter.
Yeah, mentioning Southern Miss and Marcus Dupree, got a few of those.
Mm-hmm. Lance Allworth is a story I'm familiar with, that he wanted to go to Ole Miss, but Coach Johnny Vaught would not allow married football players. And so he went to Arkansas and became an NFL Hall of Famer.
You'd prefer your players not?
Well, he figured he thought the idea of, like, if they're married, they're not committed. They're committed to something else, I guess. So
I get that line of thinking, but when the players aren't married, they're more likely to do dumber stuff.
In the year of our Lord, 1940, 1950, whatever, it's just a different time. Nowadays it'd be like, "Oh, he's married. He must have a good head on his shoulders." Back then it was like, "He's already married. What's wrong with him?" So,
somebody says Roy Oswalt was a big miss for Mississippi
it's not
State.
so much
That's
a miss.
Before my time.
You can't really say he's a miss. He got drafted. It's not like he came to State. Or the State didn't sign him. The guy went straight to MLB.
So again, this forgive my ignorance. Just before my time, it says that he went to Holmes for 2 years.
Yeah, he was committed to State out of JUCO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, what can you do?
Yeah.
More of just like a miss, like you missed the player's ability, not that you failed to bring him in.
I can't wait to find out what the word Madrid was supposed to mean in this guy's text.
Married. Well, he says
Married.
had several married players on his team.
Well, that's what the rumor mill was. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, somebody's asking about that Saints update.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So the Saints have brought somebody back, former Saints linebacker, and then went to the Falcons. Caden Ellis, a 3-year, $33 million deal, $23 million guaranteed. Good football player. Good football player. He fills the void that Demario Davis has left you. So
hasn't missed a game in 2 full seasons?
We don't talk about stuff like that now. Don't do that. Don't do that.
the Saints are absolutely cooking here, and everything just makes sense. There's a direction.
Have we been sleeping on Mickey Loomis? We've been like,
dude, he had 6 years of bad teams. Though.
He did. Well, like that's from Breeze leaving to today to last year to the middle of last year has been tough because they didn't plan properly. And look, I really can't hate on them too much for the Breeze thing. They had Tom Brady ready to sign, and Breeze wouldn't retire. And not that I wanted to force Breeze out or anything like that, but they did have a plan in place to get a couple more years and probably would have had a couple more Super Bowls. But it is what it is there.
Also, last year's draft, really good. They missed on their third rounder, or at least he didn't play heavy snaps, right? Broughton from Texas.
Right.
But you hit on the first-round pick with Banks. Now, both of your tackles are figured out, both on rookie deals. Shuck, obviously, is a second-round quarterback, a huge home run. Sanker in the third round from Virginia. It was an awesome rookie considering what you got from him. I think Stutzman's going to be fine. Last year's draft, really good. So, great draft. Nailed your quarterback. Free agency going well. What gives? I don't know what to do with my hands here. I don't get it.
It's just working.
It's just working.
Don't question it. Never walk away from a heater.
And now your first-round pick, I think the choices are really narrowed down. Maybe I'm wrong. I kind of like the receiver room more than most people do.
Oh, I think it's okay. They need another guy in there for sure.
I think it's edge or safety. If Downs is available, then great. If not, you go edge.
You need another guy in the receiver room, but that's something you can address in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. But, yeah. Somebody said, like, if Ruben Bain, that's a no-brainer. If Bain is there at 8, he is your guy.
But if Downs is there at 8, he's your guy.
You put the mask on him, and you just say, no one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Somebody says Loomis needs a competent coach to help him. Says more about Moore to me than Loomis. And honestly, free agents, it's the same thing like we talk about in college. Like the money needs to be right. Demario Davis chose the Jets because he's got the tie with their coach as well. Aaron Glenn was at the Saints. But that's these are money decisions, but players aren't just going to sign with a coach that they think they're not going to win with.
Right.
Caden Ellis could have gone to a lot of places, I assume.
Yeah.
In the NFL. But you got to sell a belief in competency, too.
Yeah.
This might be an indicator that...
The last 5-6 weeks of the season have done a lot for the New Orleans Saints. They have people believing, they have fans believing again. They've got players obviously thinking they can work with this team. They've got a young quarterback that everybody's excited about. Everything, the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks of the season, basically from the time I went to see them on. Like after I walked out of the stadium, they're like, all right, now we can start winning because Hadad's gone.
You need to go back next year just because.
I'm going to try. If my guy will bring me back, I'll be happy. Trust me, I'm happy to come.
Somebody says the cap hell hurt Loomis, but that was also his fault.
That was partly his doing, too.
Would love to see the Saints draft Daquan Wright as a future tight end. Not sure what round he's projected in. The problem is that they have a full tight end room right
tight
now.
Ends. Yeah,
if you're a fan of Daquan, you don't want him to go to the Saints because there's a good chance he gets cut before he can play.
He's a fantastic football player, but the Saints are not the spot for him.
Yeah, they just signed Noah Fant. Juwan Johnson's on a big deal. Yeah. If you're a fan of the player, another place would be more ideal. I hear you, though. I mean, Dejon Stribley.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Ole Miss Sports Network.
He's swinging a miss. He struck him out.
Toddy.
You remember Omaha, baby.
This is Ole Miss baseball.
And you can forget it because it's out of here. Showers in the outfield.
That was a rob job.
A towering shot to the wall.
This is Ole Miss Baseball on the Ole Miss Sports Network from Learfield in partnership with SuperTalk Mississippi Media. Our coverage of Rebel baseball begins with the Ole Miss Dugout Show, presented by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. And by Ford, Mississippi Ford dealers and the Ford F-150, official truck of the Ole Miss Rebels. The countdown is on to Ole Miss Baseball. Let's go to the broadcast booth with the voice of the Rebels, David Kellum.
Tonight here in Hattiesburg, we've got a Magnolia State showdown as 16th-ranked Ole Miss takes on 6th-ranked Southern Miss in the 150th meeting all-time between the Zip rivals. A week ago, the Golden Eagles edged Mississippi State 7-6 here at Pete Taylor Park and would love to double up here at home with a victory over their other in-state rival 7 days later. But as far as opposing fields go, the Pete was a special place for Ole Miss in 2022 with a super regional title that eventually led to the College World Series and a national championship. History is history, though, and it's more about what have you done for me lately. Well, here in 2026 so far, the two programs have combined to win 29, and left field's 340, right field's 340, the alleys are 365, 400 center may play a little bit smaller. The largest crowd ever here, 6,346 when the Rebels played in the regional on May the 11th, 2022, and that was a very special series, obviously, for Ole Miss, but it was special for this area. Man, there was a lot of people here, and then we're going to have a bunch tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have a bunch tonight. Sold out again here at the Pete, David. And yeah, what a we'll probably talk about it every year we come down here, but we'll never forget the Super Regional back in 2022.
Over the first three home games of the season against UC Santa Barbara, Southern Miss drew 16,518. So they're not just drawing for the Ole Miss and States of the world. They've been really picking it up on the weekends recently, too. They played Alabama 2 Tuesdays ago and beat Alabama in run rule fashion, then beat State last week in front of 5,716, and that moved to be the 5th largest crowd all time here as well. And they were standing out here at 2 o'clock in line trying to get into this ballpark earlier, so it was pretty impressive to say the least. The series, Ole Miss is favored 90-59. Rebels have won 7 of the last 10 in the series, 3 of the last 5. Southern Miss 9 straight 40-win seasons, though that's the longest current stretch in Division I baseball. Southern Miss appeared in the NCAA tournament this past year for the 9th straight year, 21st time overall, and never been afraid to play anybody for that matter, but they're playing Alabama, already played Alabama, played State, won those two. They got Ole Miss tonight. They'll have Mississippi State again on Tuesday, the 24th in Starkville. They'll play Ole Miss in Pearl a little bit later on the 14th of April. So more matchups coming up between Ole Miss, State, USM. Of course, we'll be playing Mississippi State in the league a little bit later. One of the things that's kind of interesting, it's sort of top-heavy, Hindu, right now. Coastal Carolina got to the championship series last year. We lost to them down in Houston here recently, and Southern Miss are 1-2 in the preseason coaches poll. Some other team, you talked to Jerry McClain, the AD here, and we've known him for a long time. Some of the bottom part of this Sun Belt, no, Southern just got in it here recently, is starting to get stronger, and you need that.
Yeah, it's a terrific baseball league, David. And you know, obviously Louisiana Lafayette, you got to throw their name in there as well. Arkansas State starting to get some national exposure in the way they've been playing as of late, and you want that for your conference, right? Not only is it going to prepare the upper tier teams for the postseason, but it gives you more good national spotlight, and it's always been a really good baseball conference. But it's good to see some other teams. But yeah, those two at the top sure are awfully good.
And, you know, you go back to tonight's game. We're going to talk more about that, obviously, pitching matchup and what's going on with this particular game. This is a big game for both of these teams. This is a game that will help you postseason.
Yeah, obviously the RPI comes into play here. And you know, if Ole Miss could win tonight, the win on the road against a top 10 team certainly would boost that. And obviously Southern Miss thinking the same way. You know, they don't get as many opportunities because their league is not quite what the SEC is. So great opportunity for both baseball teams.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we will look at the pitching matchup between Ole Miss and USM for tonight's game. That's next on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
The right field terrace isn't just a place. It's a vibe where the red and blue roar among home run showers, sending opponents into delirium and bringing the energy to Swayze Field. This Ole Miss tradition is brought to you by Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 49 years straight. Drive F-150, official truck of the Rebels, only at your Mississippi Ford dealer, based on 1977 to 2025 total sales.
Whether it is before you head to Swayze to watch our Rebs play or after the game celebrating a Rebel win, Funky's Oxford is where you want to be this baseball season. With 18 daiquiri machines, an expansive liquor selection, and Oxford's favorite pizza, Funky's is the place to bring your friends, family, and Fido. Rebels play away? We've got you taken care of with full coverage of the Road Rebs on our 15 TVs. From Oxford to Omaha, come hang out at Funky's to make the most of your baseball season.
Ole Miss baseball returns after a word from your local station. This is the Ole Miss Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, my name is John Merrill, the owner of Amada Senior Care. We're your local trusted advisor for senior home care. We provide experienced caregivers for your loved ones so they can remain in their home. Just like you would care for your loved ones, our employees provide assistance with their personal care needs. As your trusted senior advisor, I can help your family navigate the long-term care insurance process. Just call me, John Merrill with Amada Senior Care, for your free in-home consultation. 601-864-3752.
Jack Hoffman here with Tico's Steakhouse. At Tico's Steakhouse, tradition is always on the menu, and now that tradition lives in 2 locations, Ridgeland off County Line Road and in Oxford on the Square. Known for the finest cuts of meat, the perfect sear, and hospitality that feels like home, Tico's is where memories are made every day. Whether you're celebrating a special occasion, hosting a big game win, or even simply enjoying a great meal with friends and family, Tico's Steakhouse is the place. Come taste the legacy, savor the tradition.
You can go when you take care of your mental health.
Back in Hattiesburg, David Kellum and Brad Henderson. We've got Daniel Wilson handling our studios tonight. He'll keep up with the scores throughout the course of our game. A lot of SEC teams playing this evening. SEC head-to-head starts this weekend, the opening weekend in conference play. The Rebels are heading from here to Texas. We're talking about jumping in the fire early. Texas still the only unbeaten team in the league, and one of 2, I think, nationally. Don't forget, too, tonight, Rebel Stolen Bases of the game presented by Wade Incorporated, who's been serving Mississippi as your John Deere dealer since 1909 with 14 locations to choose from. Be sure to visit your nearest Wade Incorporated dealership for all of your lawn, small, and large tractor needs when it comes time to choose. Remember, nothing runs like a deer. And it's time now for a check up on the pitching. Who will see? Brad Henderson's pitching diagnosis is brought to you by St. Dominic Hospital. Know your own vital stats with the online heart risk assessment. Visit stdom.com/healthyheart to get started. And, Brad, we'll talk about their guy first. Thomas Crabtree, 6'4", 200, a junior right-hander from Collierville, Tennessee, up our way. Went to Collierville High School. In fact, he was with Tennessee and then Pearl River Community College. In 2025, he made 12 appearances, including 2 starts in his only season at Tennessee. Went 2-0 with a 3 ERA, fanned 20 and walked 5 in 15 outings, allowing 8 hits. He did not pitch in the series against Ole Miss last year. As a freshman, he struck out 105, becoming the first pitcher in program history to get to 100 strikeouts since 2008. In his only year at Pearl River Community College, he held a 10-2 record, 1 complete game. He was first-team All-JUCO in Mississippi. He attended Collierville High School and pitched for the Ville there, had a career 100 strikeouts. He was ranked one of the top prospects nationally and the number 13th pitcher, right-handed pitcher in the state of Tennessee. So far, he has pitched against UC Santa Barbara, Baylor, and Nichols. You know, we lost to Baylor. Southern Miss beat Baylor. In Crabtree's last outing he did against Nichols, he went 4 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, earned 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, gave up a home run. He is 0-1 because he took a loss in that game, but he's worked 8 1/3, 4 earned runs, 15 strikeouts, 5 walks. He's given up 2 homers, has that 4.32 ERA.
Yeah, opponent's only hitting .233 against the big right-hander, David, and the stuff's pretty good. It's 91 to 94 with the fastball. It's actually been up to 95. The slider's going to be around 80. Just doesn't throw it very much. 4% to left-handers, only 11% to right-handers, and his out pitch is the split finger. It'll be 83 to 85. For the most part tonight, he's going to be fastball slider. I don't think we'll see him long. I think both guys, starters tonight, will get a little bit of work in, but we're going to see a lot of bullpen on the backside.
Yeah, and a week ago, Southern Miss pitched a different pitcher per inning against Mississippi State, basically. That was crazy.
Yeah, Ozzie said he didn't know quite if he was going to do that tonight. I had a chance to talk to him before the game, but he said he didn't feel like that our hitters would see the same guy twice. So he may, if he can ride Crabtree out there 2, maybe 3 innings, as long as Dom Decker doesn't see him twice, they're going to leave him out there. But it'll be a quick leash for both of them because everybody's getting ready for conference.
Yeah, Taylor Rabe, a key middle piece that didn't have to pitch this past weekend, so he'll get the start here tonight. Needs the work, in fact. Sophomore right-hander, 6'5" from Greenville, South Carolina, and Greenville senior. As a redshirt freshman last year, coming off the elbow injury, made 15 appearances, 2 starts. He struck out 2 batters over a clean inning in relief against Southern Miss, in fact. He did not appear in 24 at Ole Miss with dealing with that injury, but at Greenville Senior High School, he was the South Carolina Coaches Association Player of the Year in 2023, South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, highly recruited, all-state. Ended up coming to Ole Miss his senior year. He was 8-0, 53 innings, 101 strikeouts, and only walked 14. Had a 1.19 ERA. So far, Brad, we've seen him in Game 2, next guy in behind Townsend, Nevada, Missouri State, Ohio State, although he did not have to pitch against North Alabama, or rather against Evansville this past weekend. He got a win over Nevada, win over Missouri State, took the save against Ohio State, so he's 2-0 with a save, 2.53 ERA. He has struck out 13 and walked only 1.
Yeah, it's a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio, isn't it, DK? The fastball, and that's what he's going to work off of. It's going to be in the mid-90s. We've seen it up in the upper 90s as well, but he's going to pitch 94 to 96 with the 4-seamer and the 2-seamer. Cutter's his best off-speed pitch. It'll be in the upper 80s. He's going to throw a slurve in the lower 80s, the changeup in the upper 80s as well. And I think the big picture tonight in this pitching matchup, David, is the overall the two teams. Southern Miss, 2.68 ERA. Opponents only hitting 224. Ole Miss, 2.718 team ERA. Opponents only hitting 211. So the proof's in the pudding. Yeah. This could be a pitcher's duel tonight, no matter who's on that mound.
And both are deep in their staffs and good depth, which is sometimes you don't get that year in and year out. Well, Taylor Ray going for Ole Miss, and he has 21 strikeouts, 3 walks in his career. 19th appearance, but only his 3rd start. 2-1 in his career overall as well. So that's a look at the pitching matchup. Taylor probably also will not go very long. We'll see several pitchers on the Ole Miss side as well. As we turn to the SEC, Sunday rolled around. The SEC went 9-4 Sunday, 0-1 yesterday. Florida beat High Point 12-11. Florida salvaged the game in that series. The Panthers won the first 2. Georgia beat Queens in 7 innings, 14-3. Dogs completed the sweep. Kentucky completed the sweep of Citadel, winning 13-5 in Lexington on Sunday.
There's team pride, and then there's extra Ole Miss pride. When I'm carrying the Ole Miss Regions Visa debit card or prepaid Regions Now card, that's exactly what I get. Whether I'm grabbing some extra Ole Miss gear or picking up an extra dozen wings for the game, this card always brings it. Sometimes I get an extra hottie toddy from the cashier too. Visit Regions.com/Go Rebels to get yours.
Extra changes everything. And at Regions, Extra is our ordinary. Official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC.
Ole Miss baseball lives here.
Swung on, hit deep to right field, toward the wall, toward the foul pole. It is gone!
On the Ole Miss Sports Network from Learfield.
For all your glass needs, call Venable Glass Services. Glass Networks. They're going to try and steer you to use their own glass shop. Well, you can tell your insurance you want to use Venable Glass, and there'll be no additional cost to them to get the highest quality glass. Venable Glass is locally owned and operated, and they do windshield replacement and rock repair right there in their shops, or they'll even come to you in the Tri-County area for free. That's right, free mobile service. At Venable Glass, they also do frameless and frame shower doors, mirrors cut to size and installed, picture frame glass, tables, desktops, insulated glass, plexiglass, commercial storefronts, and heavy equipment glass. Venable Glass. They'll come out and give you a free estimate. They want to work hard for your business. Venable Glass. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and on Saturday, 8 to noon. Hey, there's 2 locations too, in Ridgeland at 660 Highway 51 North and Brandon at 209 Woodgate Drive South in Cross Gates. Check them out on the web at venableglass.com. Remember, for all your glass needs, call Venable Glass Services. 601-605-4443.
The Ole Miss Dugout Show continues with the head coach of Rebel Baseball, Mike Bianco, presented by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. Once again, here's David Callum.
Welcome back to Hattiesburg. We do have Rebel head coach Mike Bianco. Ole Miss getting ready to take on Southern Miss. And, Coach, you've been associated with this rivalry a long time. There's some fantastic games between these two programs.
Really has. And, two really good programs in the same state with, two really good fan bases that really respect baseball. And, it's been some great competition, to say the least, in regular season and in postseason as well.
And I know you get it now, but when you came over into the state several years ago, you quickly, I'm sure, realized that this state kind of loves baseball on multiple levels.
They do. And I think, once you're in this state, you start to realize that we don't have a lot of people, around 30 million people, but we got, 3 really good Division I baseball programs, not to mention the junior colleges and all the high school programs and some of the non-Division I programs. So, it's a state that's full of baseball players and a lot of baseball fans as well.
Rivalry alone makes it big, but both programs in great shape. This would be a huge win if we could pull this one off.
Well, no doubt. And it seems like it's like that every year. Both programs are usually in contention of hosting regionals and postseason, and again, I think both have a lot of respect for one another.
Taylor Rabe did not pitch this weekend. He is starting tonight. The question is how long will he go? Do you have to keep him on a limit with the weekend coming up, or are you going to let him roll?
Oh, for sure, he'll be on a limit. We don't really know a lot. Depends on how he looks and how he feels. He's not really done this starting role for us this year, and so just to see how he does through the first inning, but it won't be long. Maybe a couple innings, and then we'll see from there. But you'll see a lot of the bullpen pieces that you're used to seeing.
Gratifying for you to see him now get off the injury, get to what we thought he was going to be when we originally signed him.
Without a doubt, and he was one of the kids that was really in the running at the end of the fall to be a weekend starter. But one of the things that people have to realize, even though he pitched for us last year, he was really coming off arm surgery, and it's really, I think, unfair to judge those kids that finish their throwing protocol, and it's in we're starting to starting the season the next day. And so although he pitched well and was really good at times last year, this has been the most consistent. You can see him really kind of turning into something and a big piece of our staff.
Hey, we appreciate you. We're looking forward to it. It should be a fun game tonight here in Hattiesburg.
Thank you.
Coach Mike Bianco, Ole Miss and Southern Miss. Coming up, we'll take a break on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Hey, when you're hurt, you want a doctor you can trust. That's why athletes across Mississippi, from Ole Miss to high schools statewide, turn to Mississippi Sports Medicine. With 16 locations from Brookhaven up to Hernando, they're the trusted orthopedic team physicians for the Rebels, the MHSAA, and schools all over the state. Their surgeons have performed over half of Mississippi's total joint replacements, while their walk-in clinics and 24/7 online availability make access to care easy. Visit MississippiSportsMedicine.com for more information. Hey, Rebel fans. For more than 50 years, Mississippi Asthma and Allergies board-certified team of allergists has treated patients by identifying triggers and creating personalized treatment plans. Now, with 8 convenient locations across Mississippi, including Oxford, we're right next door when you need us. Treating infants to adults and Ole Miss students. Find our clinic nearest you at msaac.com. Mississippi Asthma and Allergy, helping Mississippi live life to the fullest and allergy-free.
Hitting them long and touching them all.
Yes, sir, baby! That ball is out of here!
This is Ole Miss Baseball from Learfield.
My doctor's office is awesome. It's where we go when I have a fever or get hurt. Mom says it's so close.
Trust Care Kids is every kid's favorite pediatric clinic. Our caring staff is here for everything from colds and ear infections to routine checkups. Plus, our clinics are kid-approved, packed with interactive games your kids will love. Open late and weekends, too.
There's a new kid on the block.
Trust Care Kids. Get care faster. We're not kidding.
You already know that Madison Cellars is Madison's favorite place to buy wine and spirits since 1988. On Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center, Madison Cellars has a hometown feel with a big city selection. Do you have a question about...
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.